solid, scary like them deep fakes. Ain't no way you winning like the sweepstakes. Free smoke like a street race. Why you at it, gone free blue face? How the moonwalk, went on the beat. My head bobbing, some platoon talk. Play that Black Magic tune. That you tell her you gon' spend it like a top. I'm going back that bed till the bullshit stop. These jokers act like dying ain't enough. It's like they tryna dig you back up. Who they tell? I'm talking to these jokers like Judge Joe Brown. I'm rocking and rolling but won't go down. They putting in on everything like Frank's Red Hot. Like beefing with 50, I never forgot. I can't see a program really twist the pot. Bitch, I'm not one of those who you thought.
Welcome back to the Smarter Not Harder podcast. This your boy Trip, aka Attorney Trip Freeman, DBA Black Magic Jr. Yeah. Today's episode is entitled Save Yourselves. Because quite frankly, you are your very own best defense. As a criminal attorney, this is not legal advice, but I feel 1,000% confident in conveying that message to you. You are your very own best defense. No one's going to go as hard for you as you are going to go for yourself. Always remember that. I'm somebody that when I was coming up, had a ton of friends, Mr. Popular, cool with this one, cool with that one. And my mother would always remind me, son, you need to worry about your family. Your friends are alright, but your friends not going to be there like your family's going to be there for you. And as time has passed, that's actually rung true. And I do have a very select group of friends that have, stayed down, not let me down, always stepped up. But a ton of people that I swore, oh, this is my man 50 grand, please, nowhere to be found, flaked out, just really disappointed. But the older I got, the more I realized were they disappointing or was I just expecting too much, In this world, you're all you have. You have the responsibility of saving yourself. You're tasked with that. Some people like to say, born alone, die alone. Shout out my boy Slim, BADA. But, that rings true. Born alone, die alone. So, with that being the case, you got to always be able to have yourself. If nothing else, you got to have you. One of the keys and making sure that you have you and that you are your best line of defense is to always think before you act. In my criminal practice, I've talked to countless individuals that have gone out on a limb and just done some wild out, thing based on emotion. I've had situations in my own personal life where I've just acted on emotion at the time, like, I feel away, something to do X, Y, and Z, blacked out, whatever you want to call it. And when I tell you, it never fails. It can take you literally less than 5 seconds. 3 seconds can change your entire life. And you might spend 30 years trying to undo something that took you 3 seconds to get into, 5 seconds to get into. A quick action can take a very, very long time to undo. So always think before you act. Within reason. Now, if it's a bullet coming, duck. Jump out the way. Do what you can to immediately save yourself. But for most times, you don't have to make an immediate decision. So, contemplate, man. Take things within your workshop, which is your space right here. Take things within your mental workshop and really try to look at as many possible angles of a situation before you take action. And I'm not saying that to say be hesitant and do not act, because of course time is of the essence. So you want to move with efficiency. But at all times, please contemplate the consequences of the action that you're about to, undertake. And woo, it's a hot day in Georgia today. I'm sitting here feeling it like, man, I'm going to have to cut the AC on. I thought it was a little cool. I didn't have to run no AC today, but shit me. Yeah. Okay, let me get with my notes here. So as I was saying, make sure you think before you act. At this point, when you give things a little bit of thought, you recognize like, nah, that don't make no sense. I'm not finna quite do that. I ain't finna do that crazy mess right there. I heard the pastor say the other day, a bar, man. The pastor said, you can't fall off a cliff you're not standing near. I heard that. I was like, that was a good one. So move accordingly. Self-preservation is always, man, is always number one. You may not think that way. You may be selfless out here in this game, but please believe those around you, I think it's self-preservation as number one. Please understand that, man. People always do what is best for them. That's really folks' biggest motivator, is that people are going to do what's best for them. The more you assume that, the less you will ever get your feelings hurt. When I was young, I used to make a lot of decisions thinking, oh, such and such got me in mind and they would never do this, or these folks are thinking about me and they would never do that, just based on how they view me and, relationship I have with these people. Psh, please. Folks are thinking about themselves at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. So you need to think about yourself as well. I'm not asking you to be selfish, but if you're not concerned with yourself, who else is going to be? So that's something you need to always think about. Self-preservation is folks' biggest motivator in all situations. And the more I realized that, the more it allowed me to not get my feelings hurt in situations. There were so many times I thought, oh, such and such was personally against me, or they did this to spite me, or how could they, not worry about how this situation was going to affect me. But the more mature I got, the more I recognized it has nothing to do with me. People are concerned with themselves and they're going to act in their own personal best interest first and foremost. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you'll go without getting your feelings hurt. So now I advise everyone to hold on to that a little bit. And you don't have to go through hardships to understand that if you set out with that as a default, that people are going to do what's best for them in any given situation, then the better off you're going to be. So, that's something that I would say take to heart. You don't have to fall off fall off yourself. You can see other people bump their heads, and you can learn a lesson without having to experience the pain, as long as you recognize and you retain the fact that people are going to do what's best for them, first and foremost. Also, here we go. Who cares what people think? There's a time I would have been like, oh man, I just hesitated a little bit. I need to stop this and start over, edit this or that. Man, who cares what people think? Once you grasp that, it's almost like an inner freedom. The sooner you can get to that point and you recognize who cares what people think, the better off you're gonna be in this society. Because so many times nowadays, especially in this very much visual, go viral or die trying, cloud over everything type of society that we're in, people put the opinion of the masses, strangers, folks at home who they will never see over their own well-being. And you got to, really hold on to it. Remind yourself, it doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people think for a number of reasons. First and foremost, a lot of times when you think people are thinking X, Y, and Z, they're not even thinking about you. And also, another thing is, even the people are thinking about you is very much fleeting. Everyone has so much stimulus and so many different things going on these days that, yeah, okay, someone may see something you did and feel a way about it, chuckle for a second, but within 5 minutes, that's out of that person's brain. They've had 1,000 other things cross their timeline, 1,000 other things cross their stream of consciousness. They've gotten, this text message from this person, this phone call, this email, this assignment they have to do. They got to go get their kids. They got to do whatever. They worried about what they finna eat. All kind of things have crossed someone else's mind to where even the impression that you made on them is very much fleeting. Where you have people that will put themselves in a real bind, be it socially, financially, however, but people put themselves in a real bind over trying to impress the they, the outside masses, the world in general. Oh, I'm finna show them, man, watch how I do such and such. I'm finna stun on these people, X, Y, and Z. And end of the day, people put themselves in stress or under stress for things that, they really didn't have to be worried about. and or the folks who they thought they were shining on so hard actually didn't give a fuck. So, arguably, look out for yourself. Make sure that you always have the resources that you need to make sure that you're going to be all right. Save yourselves. For real. Save yourselves. I mean, so many times I've been guilty of myself at times, put myself in a bind over, trying to either put on for some other folks or put forth whatever appearance. So, when I step out, it's gonna be this, and this, and I'm gonna have this and that on and all that. Man, who cares? You do a lot better to live under your means and make sure, or should I say, live below your means and make sure that you have the necessary resources when the time comes, instead of stressing yourself out, overextending yourself, going above and beyond, and putting yourself under undue stress. Stress is a silent assassin. You know what I mean? People walk around with so much stress out here that they never speak on, and a large part over just poor decision making, overextending themselves or living above their means to put on for this one and that one. And when you look back at it, it's like, why did you even put yourself under all this pressure? There was really no point. You would have done better to have slow rolled it and made sure you always had you something in the tuck, and that you always have some resources when the time comes, instead of trying to worry about going big so much and then being stressed out and not having it and coming up short when it's critical. Because one thing you see about life, the older you get, is that there will always be emergencies. And as much as you plan and you make provisions and you do the things to try to move accordingly, there's always going to be emergencies. So you serve yourself better to make sure that you have the resources or the necessary funds available when emergencies occur, instead of spreading yourself too thin to put forth a certain image or perception to the world, and then when the times are really tough, you're out here fucked up, having to borrow or going without or not having what you necessarily need, when ultimately you would have done better to have just, slowed things down. What's the rush? Tone it down just a little bit and make sure you have what you need, because you can always, go out and turn it up a little bit. But once you run aground and you run out of that paper, shit, watch out folks get slim. A lot of people gonna disappear. You can be the life of the party and put on and show everybody a good time, but when you need it, who can you really call on? And a better position to be in is being able to call on yourself and not have to worry about, oh, okay, well, I can hit up this one for that or this one for this. Nah. Just make sure that you always keep you something in the tuck for yourself. Never go so hard that you don't spend it all in trying to do whatever, and then now if something else comes up unexpected, you out here looking crazy. So always keep you something in the tuck. That way you don't have to deal with the stress, and you're going to think better. I mean, you have some people that do their best thinking under pressure, but the vast majority of people, the more stressed out you are, the less creative you can be, and the less you're going to generate ideas that's going to get you to that next level. So you do better to create a peaceful mental environment for yourself and have everything that you need so that you're able to generate more resources. Overall, that mental state is priceless. You definitely want to keep your mind at ease and just not put too much stress and worry on yourself, especially when it can be avoided based on decision making. The world is going to always be pulling you in different directions, but the more you can just value yourself and give yourself grace and appreciate yourself and what you have going on, the less you're going to find yourself overexerting yourself to put on for other people. So, that's something in my time on this planet that I've seen to be helpful. Also, and as we move towards closing this out, real is rare. Like a lot of times we do things for other folks thinking, oh, okay, I done did such and such for this one and did X, Y, and Z for that one, and operating almost as if you have credit with these people, that you're building some type of credit for folks feeling like, yeah, if I did X, Y, and Z for them, Of course, they would do this for me if the roles were reversed. And wrong on that. Don't ever assume that just because you did something for somebody, that somebody else in turn will do the same thing for you when the roles are reversed. Real is rare. More often than not, you wind up disappointed in what people will do when the rubber meets the road. Then you're gonna be, pleasantly surprised, impressed, or any of that. So, don't count on somebody doing something for you just because you did it for them. Overall, you do better to do things out of the genuine goodness of your heart. And if the energy happens to be reciprocated, excellent. But don't be upset. Don't be mad over something that you chose to do, and then later on, somebody didn't do such and such for you. So that's why overall I say save yourselves. You are your own best line of defense. Don't wind up in a situation later where you're upset and trying to pressure your lawyer or whoever else as to why they can't get you out of something that you willfully involved yourself in, and you made decisions that wind you up in that situation. Always keep in mind, hey, if this goes all bad, am I prepared to deal with the consequences? And am I gonna be okay with the bed that I'm making for me to lay in? So yeah, remember that and save yourselves. Smart thinking, man, wise thinking can avoid a lot of BS and keep you out of a lot of trouble. As people always say, oh, don't let such and such trick you out the street. Man, don't trick yourself out the street. You can blame whoever, whatever, but ultimately you had to go in on it. You had to be complicit in your thought. You had to be complicit in your actions and choose to make a decision that puts you in a lot of these situations. So always make your next move your best move and save yourselves. So yeah, moving on, man. The fun, more enjoyable aspects. Music. What am I bumping or what am I excited to listen to? Right now, I gotta say I'm excited to check out that new Young Nudy project, Paradise. I've heard good things so far online about it. I've seen the artwork. Artwork looks dope. Looks like he's gonna have some good features on there. I think Baby Drill is on that joint. I think 21 Savage is on there. I'm sure there's gonna be some other people that I have not seen that are featured on there. But shout out that boy Young Nudy. I feel like that new Nudy is gonna be fire. One thing you can count on with Young Nudy is that the beat selection is gonna be off the wall. I'm sure he always has choice production, and he always brings new styles. I appreciate the way he puts his flows together, and that he experiments with different cadences. Always seems to be pushing the bar with the actual flow. His style is relatable in terms of just what he discusses, but also he pushes the bar and keeps it creative, and is always raising the level as he goes about it. It seems to be the more he records, the better he gets at it. So, that's dope. I'm definitely very much excited to check out that new Young Nudy. Y'all follow at Young Nudy. Listen to his new project, Paradise. It should be really good so far. I've heard people coming back with some really good reviews, so that's what I'm excited to tune into right now. I feel like it's a full-length album, so yeah, shouts out to the whole ATL, man. Shouts out to Nudy and that East Side, but yeah, that new Young Nudy Paradise, man. Check it out. Give it a listen when you get a second. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and shit, I can't wait. I'm sure that's gonna be one to ride to right there, and that it's not gonna have no skips on it. I will say so. Hopefully, it is what I think it's gonna be. In terms of content creators, who have I been checking out? Got to give a big shout out to Lookitzjay. And Lookitzjay is a content creator that manages to do a lot of celebrity reactions and a lot of celebrity type topics. He also does news topics that aren't always celebrity related. But one thing I really enjoy about his content is that he brings a level-headed opinion to things, and he always tries to leave you with something positive. No matter what the situation is, he tries to put some type of positive spin on it, and or drop some jewels and give you a little bit of game, so that you can either avoid the situation if it's a very bad situation, and or that YouTube can capitalize if it's something good that happens for somebody. He's got a platform that, despite being involved in, the celebrity gossip, is also faith based. I do appreciate or like the fact that whenever he does a review, he brings it back to a spiritual point and just talks about how, overall, the creator will want you to make the best decisions you can for yourself and how certain things can be avoided. He really takes time out to give his commentary on what's going on, and then he'll also give a nice little piece or do a monologue which consists of just how you can, really enrich yourself and grow from certain situations, and or what is, a positive, real glasses half full type of perspective on things. So, shouts out to Lookitzjay. He's got a pretty big platform. He also does music promotion, and is a good person to holler at if you want to promote a product or some art or anything to the people. He's got a very nice sized audience, so it'd be good to pay him for promo as well, because you're gonna get the word out there and make sure that people know about you and what you got going on. So yeah, shout out Lookitzjay, and I think that's at LOOKITSJAY. But if I'm mistaken about that, boom, I'm definitely gonna put that on the screen for you so you can check it out. But go follow at Lookitzjay and see what you think about his content. But overall, man, shout out that brother for always putting a positive spin on things and trying to raise the vibration. Despite how negative things may be and low vibrational a lot of things are in the world these days, man, Lookitzjay always comes with some type of positive spin on the pieces that he does. So, shout out him, and I would encourage everyone to check out his platform. Ooh, so in terms of the fashion, today I have a blast from the past, man. Shout out my boy Jackie to the Aki. But today, man, we got to talk about that members only, man. How many of y'all remember members only? I know folks like, what? Members only? I ain't never seen no members only like that. I know. This John right here, man. When you see that tag on the front, you gonna know it. You remember that right there, that members only, man. But yeah, they still in the game, man. Members only has been around since, I want to say, the 80s, if not damn near the 70s, dropping all kind of outerwear and different pieces, but they still doing their thing in this the 2020s, the 2025s, man. Members only still dropping hot fire right here for the people. So check out members only, man. I got a few really fresh members only pieces that whenever I wear them, man, I get buku compliments and folks are surprised, man. You have people that are just caught up in the nostalgia of it. It's one of those type of brands or designers that when you wear it, it kind of spans the gambit, man. You get some of the young folks, the young kings, shall we say, that are impressed with the wares of like, oh, what's that, OG? I ain't never seen that. That's funky. And then you have, you'll even catch the aunties and the unks on it too. With like, damn, Playboy, like, wow, you members only. I used to have one of them. I ain't know they still made stuff, and or I never seen the members only like that, but they make a lot of real quality outerwear at an affordable price. They got a wide variety of styles, and they're not really trying to tax you too hard, man. So y'all check out members only. I'm assuming they're on social media. If so, it's probably gonna be at members only. But I'll put a link on here or some kind of way you can check out the styles and just see what they have to offer. So yeah, it's your boy Trip. And as always, please check out Black Magic Jr. Check out the new album, Recovery, by Black Magic Jr. in stores now. Shouts out to everybody that's been tuning in, man. I really been seeing the listenership go up, so I appreciate that, man. Thank y'all for all the positive feedback. And yeah, for all of your personal injury, criminal law, and family law needs, holler at me, Attorney Trip Freeman. Put the office number up, man. It's 404-620-0036. And that's about it, man. You've been tuning in to Smarter Not Harder. We out.
uneven.
I really stand apart like narco art.
Featuring bangers like Missions.
Idea, me scared of dark.
Let's go. It's only for my designer junkies. You can't afford a copy. Wait up. Featuring El Bravo.
Looking for a destination, no relation. So I can
Wise guy.
from the United States of a nation. There's so many ancestors, souls on the blood of sea.
Rising sun.
Had to summon all the homies branded with the G-Force.
The Loch Ness Monster. And more.
Better ever pay boys right vehicles. So we really praying for
300, man, hit like some buffs, man.
Get you hooked by cocaine.
So get your wag on, man, to this summer banger. Black Magic Jr., get even.
So we
Out
go
now.
in the same
God.
game.
Vampire
Now,
masterpiece.
shorty, holler my name. Don't
From the
stress,
biggest
so I'll
to the
be
smallest.
on my way.
Yeah, boy. Black Magic Jr., get even. Out now. Woo. Damn. Shout out to Russell.
Black, magic.
What I did,
Get even.
Out now. On easy.
get some inspiration.